Okay, so again, my name is Brad Vorbeck. I'm the marketing manager here at Turnkey Technologies. And I'm going to be focusing on, so Rokas kind of talked about the productivity side of things and getting employees used to the shift from the old way of doing things, such as emails and versions and sending things back and forth, to collaborating and sharing and having these things interwoven so it doesn't matter so much as to where they're navigating to do these things in the Office 365 platform, but those features are usually contextually available to them. So while he's talking about that side of things for the internal employees, my focus is going to be more on the customer experience and how you can drive sustainability and revenue and what I think are the lowest, lowest hanging fruit, so to speak, for the tools that can lend the greatest impact to the customer experience. And if we have time, I'm going to dive into the interface a little bit and show you guys what it looks like, how easy it is to navigate around with very few clicks, and some of the out-of-the-box capabilities. I do have a lot of information to get through, so I'm going to try to get to that part, but bear with me. So experience above all. This is really the big shift in the way that businesses are thinking these days. In the past, it used to be the focus was on product, margin, and efficiency, and just growing the revenue. But now the focus is actually all about pleasing the customer. By putting the by putting the customer at the forefront of everything, businesses are realizing that revenue follows. And from there, you can easily optimize your operations with the tools provided in this platform. But really, it's all about how are you capturing the market? How are you beating your competition? And how are you being spoken about out there in the digital world in terms of the customer experience? So the result is that companies these days are investing a lot more in understanding and engaging their customers. And that comes in the form of technologies such as CRM that are specifically designed to be a single platform where all the customer-facing interactions with your business take place. And then you can get consistency and business process optimization and generally do more with less for those departments. So the customer journey has changed drastically. As everybody knows, we live in a digital world now. The abundance of choice has empowered customers more than ever before, and they have access to this information immediately. So beating each other out on Google, on social media, all over the online presence is a key differentiator for brands, and just being there where the customer is looking is so important. In addition to that, having ways for the customers to advocate for you and spread that word of mouth in the online world, which more and more customers are getting enveloped in. More and more people are spending more time on their phone, and as they do so, the digital presence of your brand is becoming more and more important. So in an age of commoditized products and services, companies look to customer experience as the competitive differentiator. Service, sales, and marketing are at the center of these companies' abilities to deliver a differentiated and consistent engagement experience, and so that is why it is so crucial to get these departments aligned and on the same page. The new standard for the customer experience is one that is quite advanced now with the digital age. Customers are very savvy as to which businesses are using technology to deliver better customer experiences and which ones are kind of falling behind. The new customer experience looks like personalized offers, self-service capabilities, mobile experiences, so cross-platform capabilities, whether they're on their desktop, visiting your business in person, visiting your business on their phone while they're traveling, interacting with you. You need to have all the different channels available for them to do so. And then online research, having your business available when they start searching for you on these different channels. A lot of this new standard is driven by companies that have embraced and mastered their technology strategies early on. A lot of them are larger companies that sort of drove this new customer expectation, that had the resources to do so when it was new. But now these technologies are available widely for small and mid-sized businesses, and there are some low-hanging fruit options available to drive your sustainability in this competitive environment. Because the gap is widening between the technology-centric companies and the status quo. And there are some very simple steps that you can take now, as well as more complex steps you can take after that in the future to compete on this front. And just to be clear, you don't need to beat out Amazon or Apple at the customer experience game. You just need to start small, design efficient, personalized experiences, and identify what tool sets enable those experiences to happen. How can you share that data between departments to create consistency and create personalization? So the goal is to drive sustainability by adopting these tools, and especially the tools that lend the biggest impact, particularly to the customer experience side of things. So we're just going to go through some quick stats about the customer experience right now. Your brand, first of all, awareness. Your brand is much more than a logo and other visual marks. It is your truth. It's how customers actually perceive your organization as they interact with you across all the different types of engagements they have and all the different platforms. Your brand colors might contribute to that. The design experience might lend a hand, but truly your brand is what the customer walks away feeling. So online and offline experiences have to coexist, and they have to reinforce the trust that you're building with your customers, and they have to be consistent. But consistency can easily break down when your company is focused on developing tactics or things that aren't focused around the customer instead of building a brand and aligning with your vision, mission, and core values. So branding consistently generally leads to things like miscommunication, brand confusion, erosion of trust, and overall poor customer experience, and lower sales conversions. So it's important that marketing, sales, and service are all aligned so that anytime a customer is engaging with your company, they're delivering or they're getting the best type of experience that can be provided to them. Acquisition. So 77% of buyers don't believe sales reps actually understand their business, nor that they can provide real value. So this is an opportunity for sales reps to use the data shared in their company by marketing, by customer service, to better understand their customers and to sort of understand the buying cycle, what they need at different times of the buying process, and also using things like LinkedIn to understand their customers better and really get sort of a complete profile before they start engaging with them, and just having more tools available to understand where they're coming from. Only 8% of B2B companies say that they have tight alignment between sales and marketing. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in depth. And yeah, we're going to go into that a little bit more, the alignment between sales and marketing. Engagement. 80% of business buyers expect interaction in real time. That means you have to have either people ready to answer emails or some sort of live chat engagement tool, or perhaps a social media person available to answer questions. But the point is, if somebody reaches out to your business and you're in a type of industry where response is quick, especially by your competitors, they're going to move on quick if they don't get a response. You want to provide your agents with everything they need to deliver more personalized and effective standard of service, using tools that are at their fingertips and that are easily accessible quickly, so that if a customer engages with your brand, you have the ability to quickly pick up where they left off with you last, understand where they're at, what they're looking for, what they've bought from you, what their pain points might be, all in one view. So back to advocacy. The digital world is full of avenues where customers can express both good and bad things about your brand. Social media channels, customer review sites, Amazon reviews, Walmart reviews if you're a retailer. There's all types of places where that input is being spread around. And so you want to kind of keep track of that, and you also want to build trust and build the type of rapport that you want being spread around. And so that's why it's so important that every customer engagement, whether it be them learning about you online, them engaging with you over customer service, or them speaking to a sales rep for assistance, is efficient and most of all aligned with the customer's expectations. They don't want to spend time doing these things. Usually they're looking for efficiency and personalization, and they're sort of expecting that from your company at this point. So where do you start on delivering on these customer expectations today? It's pretty simple. It all starts with CRM, Customer Relationship Management. and it is the single platform for building customer experiences. It's basically, like I said, one platform for sales, marketing, and service to get on the same page. It enables customer-facing roles to do more with quicker analysis and process automation. So having analytics available to you and at any given time in real time and oftentimes in context with where you're working means that you don't have to dig around to engage with your customers or answer their problems or overall create a personalized experience quickly. CRM is a workflow system. It offers process automations and guided processes and approvals that you can flow. As Rokas showed, he created some flows in the Office 365 platform that can include CRM activities as well. So ultimately, it's a way to structure your processes around the ways that work best and also having analytics around those so you can see what's working best. How can you shorten your sales cycles? How can you improve your email performance? How can you improve your marketing campaigns? How can you shorten customer service case resolution times? These analytics are also so important to going into the process optimization and then ultimately standardizing those processes around what you're seeing in those analytics. As Rokas mentioned, it's not just a solution. This shift is much more of a philosophy and a mindset as well. The software is what assists you with these things, but it's really a customer-centric focus that you have to shift to in understanding, okay, we need to not only provide these services for our customers and engagements with our customers, but we need to do so in a way where the information is being shared across departments. Customer service needs to have access to sales data. Sales needs to have access to marketing data. Marketing needs to have access to both of those departments' data. And so really, that is ultimately what CRM does for an organization. It provides the process automations and analytics to do more, but it also provides the shared data across departments that is so important to provide personalization. So looking specifically at Dynamics 365 for customer engagement, there are 5 applications that go into this. It's sales, marketing, customer service, field service, and project service automation. I just wanted to give you guys sort of a bird's eye view from this slide. There's obviously a lot more feature functionality in each of these applications, but this is sort of the core benefits that you get with each of these. And then I just want to let you know that you can purchase each of the or subscribe to these apps individually, and then you can also bundle them together in a customer engagement plan where everything is already seamlessly integrated and it all works as one application, even though they can work as separate applications as well. So while we do, Dynamics 365 does provide applications for field service and project service. Today we're primarily going to focus on the first 3 that you see here, sales, marketing, and customer service, and how you can align those to compete with the digitally savvy companies that are out there and drive sustainability for the next 10 to 20 years in your business with how you engage with your market. So Dynamics 365 for sales, the core functionality there is lead to opportunity management, a structured way to guide your leads from qualification all the way through to close, and you can configure configure that management process based on your analytics that you have from previous sales, as well as just knowing what works in your industry, what types of stakeholders are required for the next steps, and you can configure those and track it all the way through from lead to cash. But primarily what Dynamics 365 does is it allows sellers to do a lot more without, or working smarter and not harder, so to speak. Doing a lot more by doing a lot less. It enables a lot of tools to focus on what's more important rather than trying to boil the ocean. There's a lot of things demanding sales reps' attention, and there's a lot of AI and other tools involved with Dynamics 365 for sales that surface the things that might be most relevant for that day, for that record, etc. You can do less with more by having streamlined workflows, not having to guess or remember what the next step is in something, but following the most optimal processes to shorten your sales cycles, to shorten your prospecting times. So as I said, it provides configurable guided processes so that also helps with onboarding new sales reps. So if you have a new sales rep or a remote sales force that is constantly either coming and going, CRM provides a structured way to onboard those reps, to incentivize them, to measure them, and provide dashboards for sales management in a way that they don't necessarily have to be right there in the office to do this. It's all automated and it's all structured through their security privileges and through the CRM platform. CRM enables a mobile sales force, so selling in the field, actually completing work orders or quotes and invoices right there in the field from your phone using a mobile application. That's critical for sales these days, especially the amount of sales that are remote or mobile. And it provides sales management dashboards, so goal management. How close are your sales teams tracking toward their quarterly or yearly goals, and what are some recommendations to get them there faster? Analytics to forecast demand, analytics to shorten sales cycles, where you can identify trends, bottlenecks, identify common objections that customers may have. So just taking a look at this data that you have through these sales processes as you go and just refining things moving forward, and then even implementing those into your guided processes or your workflows. And one thing that's really special about Dynamics 365 for sales is the AI involved with it. It really is an assistant for your sales reps. It has things that can recommend intelligent actions based on the record you're working on, based on the customer activity. And in that way, it really does help surface what's important for them to focus on that day and help have less things fall through the cracks or less emails forgotten about and things like that. Dynamics 365 for marketing. Primarily, it provides a platform for running multi-channel campaigns. And that would include anything from email, telemarketing, direct marketing, all integrated and managed from a single platform. So you can track the effectiveness of those. And as I mentioned, CRM features a complete lead to opportunity sales cycle. So there's source tracking on your leads as those get worked by sales reps and flow through to an opportunity, eventually into an order or into a win, and then a close or an order. That gets tracked all the way back to the source that it came from, which greatly helps in refining your marketing strategies going forward and learning what's working and what doesn't. It's a platform for aligning sales and marketing. So with common customer data and connected automated processes with the sales team, you can use embedded intelligence like dynamic segmentation to target the right audience and multiple lead scoring models to prioritize your leads for sales. We're going to actually go into the lead scoring thing in a little bit more in depth here shortly. I think that's one of the most key methods for aligning sales and marketing and ensuring the success of your marketing leads. So it enables inbound lead generation and lead nurturing, the ability to capture leads online, integrate or seamlessly have them created in your CRM, and then entered into an automated nurture campaign based on the content that they downloaded. It provides an email marketing platform, insights into your email performance and effectiveness, a platform for A/B testing your emails, and ultimately a platform for doing your email blasts and sending them out in mass. You get AI, like I said, there's sales AI, but there's also AI that contributes to marketing as well. You'll have actionable insights based on customer interactions to improve engagement. Integrated event management, LinkedIn lead gen form generation. So I don't know if your company may do some LinkedIn ads or other ways to generate leads through LinkedIn. You can integrate that into Dynamics 365 so that when somebody fills out an ad form or a lead generation form, that record is already created in your CRM and ready to be worked by sales. Skipped ahead here a little bit. So for customer service, it's primarily a tool for omni-channel engagement and agent enablement. Basically, no matter how your customers are reaching out to you, whether it be phone, email, live chat, social media, all these platforms can be integrated right into CRM for customer service, so your agents can monitor them, respond to them in real time. And when it comes to case management and agent enablement, there's tools that are provided for them to help them understand the customer's need in real time, as well as guide them to the most effective resolution. So you have a knowledge base available to you, a searchable knowledge base that can be used to identify solutions to customer issues immediately, as well as service intelligence and analytics that allow you to shorten your case resolution times and identify, okay, where were times where it may have gone longer than necessary, there was a poor customer outcome, how could we avoid that in the future, and implement that into your strategies going forward. And finally, it provides a way for your communities to engage in self-service through various tools in the Office 365 and CRM platform. You can set up portals for your customers where they can either view their history with your company, their sales history, service history, etc., as well as submit things like support cases and whatnot. So self-service is a big piece of the customer expectation today. They don't always want to have to rely on somebody at your company or somebody on the phone to guide them through something. A lot of times they want to be able to do it online as it's actually occurring to them. So I just talked about what it is for the different departments in terms of just the tools themselves, but what CRM actually is it's a continuous feedback loop between departments. It provides those departments with cross-departmental data that they can use to improve their processes and personalize their experiences even better going forward. So as sales reps go through sales processes with their leads and opportunities, customer service reps take on cases and resolve them, and marketing activities take place, all of those communications and all of those activities are being tracked back to that universal customer record that is then accessible for anybody who needs to see it whenever they need to see it. That can include when you're strategizing a new marketing campaign. That can include when you're reaching out to a customer from sales. You can dive into the past activities or communications they've had with your company and sort of tailor the message that you're going to give them based on that. When you're using CRM and it's fully adopted throughout your organization, your records become more complete as more interactions occur. So the more CRM is adopted, the more value it actually adds to your business as you have more complete profiles of your customers, of your leads that you're working in different ways to segment them for marketing. As Rokas mentioned, everything is integrated on one platform with Microsoft. So while these tools are connecting your departments, they also are connected to the productivity applications that you use to complete most of your work. So right where you're working within CRM, you'll have contextual Office 365 features available to you. So for example, you're in a customer opportunity record and you want to see what SOW was sent to them or what PowerPoint presentation was used in that sales opportunity. You can store that right from SharePoint into the record on CRM and access it right there without having to switch to SharePoint or anything. The same thing goes with Skype or Teams integration. The click-to-call feature and the automatic tracking feature that goes along with that so that you can track your activities back to the customer records without ever having to even take additional steps. It's just the features are there right where you're working, right where you're completing the activity. So we're going to go into some sales and marketing alignment challenges. This really has a lot to do with driving revenue for your organization. A lot of companies experience gaps between sales and marketing, and these gaps lead to poor lead quality, no sales conversion visibility, different definitions of what leads might be. So what is a qualified lead? Marketing might think it's somebody who has downloaded a pricing guide. Sales might think it's somebody who has actually reached out to get more information. Inconsistent views of leads and customer activity due to non-integrated technologies. So having a separate event platform, non-integrated with whatever tools you're using for your sales folks, or if you're using spreadsheets, none of that activity is getting placed in a universal record where it can be seen at one time. A lack of a shared understanding of the buyer's journey is another challenge between sales and marketing. That's where it really depends on the two coming together and saying, okay, of these customers that we've won, why did we win them? What worked, what didn't? And understanding what type of content, what type of information would have assisted in the buying process to move them forward at that time. So overcoming these challenges requires a commitment to shared objectives and that is exactly what CRM provides. It's an objective platform to qualify your leads and to automatically hand them off to sales with a mutual understanding of what your objectives are, common processes between the two, and automated processes so that the timing is right. So going into lead scoring a little bit more, it really is a game changer when it comes to helping the success of your marketing leads and vice versa, helping sales be successful. It's a particularly great strategy for inbound leads and lead nurturing. So if you have a website that's generating inbound leads either through contact forms, through content downloads, or other ways to capture that information, you can have them either entered into your nurture campaigns or just continue marketing to them. And as they complete more activities, whether it be visiting a certain web page, whether it be downloading a certain piece of content, you can configure those activities to have certain weights or scores. And as they perform these things, their score goes up, and then sales and marketing identifies a threshold where that sales gets handed off for outreach, or that lead gets handed off for outreach. So in that way, it creates an objective handoff point in a quantitative way to actually measure the lead quality, not just based on opinion. So what this does is it shortens prospecting times for sales because you're prioritizing leads rather than having sales try to go out and hunt their own sources. Why should sales spend time emailing or calling 100 people they've looked up on LinkedIn based on broad demographics or criteria when you have a few hundred leads that have downloaded content that are nearing the sales threshold? Or perhaps sales could just start with the highest quality leads based on their lead score, and once they've gone through their list that they want to work on, they can then start prospecting their other sources. But the key here is that sales is spending less time going through cold leads and directing their focus to leads that have been proven to be somewhat warm and somewhat interested in your company from marketing. So I mentioned while CRM does provide sales, service, and marketing with tools to do their jobs better and to do more in less time, one of the key things that CRM provides is a platform for sharing data across departments, and this greatly contributes to the customer experience in terms of personalized interactions and just optimizing your strategies going forward and really understanding your customers. So an example of cross-departmental data sharing with sales would be something like sales using marketing data to guide the conversation or messaging to the lead they're about to reach out to. So as I mentioned, you have a lead scoring model in place. Say a lead has come to your website, they spent time on the home page, they spent time on a pricing page, they contacted your company, and they downloaded a white paper. Well, that sales rep can see that their lead score is high, so he'll choose them as a priority to reach out to, and then he can go and look at what content they downloaded, what web pages they visited, what event registrations they have, and see what that lead is interested in before actually reaching out to them, and then they can kind of be armed with some intel to tailor the conversation in that way. Marketing templates being used for sales emails for brand consistency. In Dynamics 365 for sales, you have the ability to send emails, and marketing can create templates and store those there for different scenarios. You can have image-based templates. You can have one-off style templates where it's sort of pre-structured. Sales can personalize them as needed and send them off, and you don't have to worry about things looking out of whack or inconsistent between your sales reps. Lead scores, I kind of already dove into that a little bit, but that has to do with lead prioritization. So not just going in and prospecting based on your old routine, but going in and prospecting based on what actually has the highest lead scores in the system. And once you're through those, then you can move on to other sources. Using customer service data to identify product or service weaknesses, and then coming up with a proactive strategy to handle those objections in the future, or a proactive strategy to I guess lessen that weakness or fix that weakness in the view of your competition. And then using customer service data to identify cross-sell or upsell opportunities. So sales reps can go in and see what type of cases you see the most. So let's say there's a plethora of cases involving a certain problem with a product, but it's easily solved when they have a second product integrated with it, or a second product that complements it in some way. They can use that data to reach out to those customers, recommend that cross-sell opportunity, and potentially clear up those issues for that customer going forward. So some examples of customer service using cross-departmental data. Using sales history to understand customers in real time when they call in. It'd be pretty hard for a sales rep or a customer service rep to handle a customer's inquiry when they don't even know what product or service they've had in the past. Using sales close activity to trigger customer support introductions. So if an opportunity is won and that's a new customer, you can use that to trigger an automated alert or recommendation to customer service to say, hey, go ahead and send this, our general customer support introduction email. Using the shared knowledge base to immediately identify solutions to support issues. So you can have a knowledge base of product knowledge, case knowledge, various tips and tricks, different success stories that can all be searched and used by your customer service agents to come up with faster resolutions for the person they're on the phone with. And then also using things like ERP integration to create work orders or refunds in real time as a customer service rep, and not having to potentially wait or have that be transferred between systems before it actually takes place for the customer. Some examples of marketing using cross-departmental data from sales and customer service. Using sales prospecting data to further segment your audience. So as sales reaches out to the warmer leads in your lead scoring model or their own prospecting, they're gathering names, they're gathering industries, job titles, company sizes. That can help greatly with your marketing department in targeting those leads in the future. So as sales works these leads and fills out those records, marketing can certainly use that information to their advantage. Sales process analytics, understanding where the bottlenecks are in buying processes and what content could maybe be provided to lessen those bottlenecks, or where they can step in and help sales with part of that to eliminate that bottleneck. Using customer service data to identify proactive content to create, such as a frequently asked questions page. So as I mentioned with similar to the sales example, where they would be using common customer case data to sort of tailor their strategy and their sales going forward. Marketing can use that same kind of data to create proactive blogs or web pages or infographics that address those problems before customers might even have them, and then publish them on social media. And as I said, it's a really big help having a frequently asked questions page where hopefully you can answer some of your customers' questions before they even have to reach out to you. Marketing using top performing web page analytics to guide their strategy for events and different offers that they have on the web page. And then finally, looking at sales trends over timelines or over products to craft seasonal campaigns or product-based campaigns. So in addition to cross-departmental data sharing, CRM also provides a tool, or is essentially a tool for maximizing sales productivity. And there's a lot of ways that Dynamics 365 for Sales does this. But primarily it helps sellers focus on what's important. They're juggling an increasing number of stakeholders. It gets harder to tailor and personalize interactions as the more leads or opportunities they're handling. So Dynamics 365 provides a holistic view of the customer's interaction history, and that way sellers have the context and knowledge to personalize every interaction they have with them. In addition to that, to prevent distractions, there is AI built into Dynamics 365 CRM, or that can be configured very easily, that surfaces intelligent recommendations, alerts, and reminders based on different customer activities, things that might be due that day, maybe a missed email or a missed meeting or an upcoming meeting. Different things like that get surfaced for the sales rep, so they don't have to necessarily rely on their Outlook calendar or on their memory all the time, but really lean into the system to keep things from falling through the cracks. And also many sellers are unclear of what's expected of them, especially new ones. So is it just to close deals? Is it just to build pipeline? Is it to acquire new customers or retain existing customers? Well, CRM gives you the ability to set up goals and manage those goals in real time using things like the product catalog and goal management system, which is great help for forecasting and for actually just keeping track of your sales numbers. So I want to look at AI for sales, and one of the main components of this is the relationship assistant. As I've mentioned a couple times, there are action cards that display, and that's the primary function of the relationship assistant. Is no matter where you're working in CRM, whether you're on a customer activity, a customer record, these action cards will surface in context with that record or with the customer activity that relates to that record that's actually pertinent to you. And it'll prioritize them based on urgency. And so you can have a lot of different cards available, but they pretty much cover almost anything you can think of in terms of assisting your sales reps in narrowing down their focus and sort of doing what's most important that day. So you have things like the base cards, which is like a close date coming soon on an opportunity, customer activity due, such as an email due today, a meeting due today. You can have email cards from Exchange, which are actually based on the analysis of your email messages in your Exchange inbox. So Dynamics 365 AI actually scans, or has the ability to scan the body of your emails and the to and from addresses to basically provide intelligent recommendations or alerts that it thinks are in those communications. Some things like that might include competitors mentioned in an email, or it can actually read the natural language of your customer's email to identify an upsell opportunity, or to identify risk sentiment, negative words that are being described in the email, or issues detected. So there are common phrases you can put in here, as well as ones that are out of the box that can help the system actually identify different communications or different tasks that might be discovered through your actual emails. Relationship analytics cards. So it'll alert you when there's been no activity with a record type for a period of time, indicating that that relationship probably needs some nurturing. Some email engagement cards, those are separate from email cards from Exchange, but these include things like alerting your sales reps when an email they've sent has been opened, or reminding them when the email needs to go out. Productivity cards, so if you're driving around or if you're a mobile sales rep, it can actually alert you if there's a customer nearby based on their address data in the system. It'll alert you on relevant news about that customer, as well as if you have any upcoming meetings with them, when you're on that customer record, that would be something that would show up right here in the card area. And even things as far as like stock updates for that company, you can have integrated in there. So those are productivity cards to kind of help your sales reps just connect with customers at the right time. And then you have today cards, which are like recent meetings, today's top people, and today's top records. So sales reps are busy. They've got a lot to think about. They've got a lot that might fall through the cracks, and this AI for Sales Assistant is a great help for keeping them focused on what's important. As I mentioned, you have email engagement tracking in Dynamics 365 for Sales. This is another AI feature where you can choose to track the emails right in CRM. You can actually see if they've been opened, if they've been clicked, and the timeline for those things. You can even, by uploading a PDF from OneDrive, you can actually see how many times that PDF has been opened and for how long it's been open for. So you actually get the timeline of these activities and what has occurred on this email right there in CRM. And this is also the same screen where you would insert a template from your marketing department. So rather than having to write that email body out from scratch on the left, you could simply choose Insert Template and customize it as necessary, choose to track it, and then send it off. And I think another really interesting feature about the AI in Dynamics 365 is the auto capture feature for email. This is essentially, so without this feature turned on, you can be in Outlook and you can open up a new email and send it to a client, and you can choose right there in Outlook to track it to that client's record. Without ever leaving Outlook, CRM is integrated right into it. But what auto capture does, and you can also track those emails by sending it from CRM as well. So you have the ability to send the email from Outlook and track it in CRM, or send the email from CRM and track it there as well, as you see here. And the tracking of those looks the same no matter which way you're sending it. But email auto capture is actually a way to automatically track emails related to your CRM customers or leads or opportunities based on intelligent scanning of the email itself. So as you basically integrate this AI with your Exchange server, and as emails come into you, it can identify who it's coming from, who it's going to, and what they've said in that email to basically recommend, hey, we probably ought to track this against this record in CRM. Would you like to do so? And what that looks like in CRM, you see on the right side of the slide, the auto capture, is right there in the activities feed on that record. The email you sent will show up as a recommended email to track. It'll show up there for convenience, but you don't have to actually track it. So this is visible to the user, but once you hit that blue track button, then it becomes part of the system, and you actually get the analytics that you see there on the left. So this is a great way to have all your email communications tracked to your customer activities without letting anything fall through the cracks. And that is an incredibly important feature when it comes to sales and keeping up with where customers are at and what they, picking up from the last conversation. Outlook integration, as I just mentioned, you can actually send emails and track them to CRM records without ever leaving Outlook. That's that picture there on the left. You just basically open up a new email, you click Dynamics 365, and you have the ability to set regarding a certain record. You could choose a contact record, a lead record, and then once you send that email, you can go into CRM and you'll see that email actually shows up in their activity feed, as you see here on under the auto capture section. Additionally, you can create CRM activities without ever leaving Outlook as well, and this has to do with the cross-platform capabilities of Office 365 and Dynamics 365, the single platform feature. You can create activities, cases, a competitor record, contact records, knowledge-based articles, lead records, orders, all from Outlook without ever leaving it, and then actually have that record show up in CRM and be able to be modified or moved forward in the system. But the point here is you don't have to switch to another solution to continue your work. You can do it right from where you're working, move on, and the next time you're in CRM, work on it from there. Another huge assistant for sales is the LinkedIn integration capabilities with Dynamics 365. LinkedIn integration gives you access to 500 million LinkedIn profiles, which are embedded directly into the lead records themselves. So it reduces data entry dramatically for certain things that can be identified through the LinkedIn profile. It also provides you context and recommendations based on their connections, who might be good to connect with for a certain opportunity, or maybe a way to get a warm introduction to them by a certain connection that you already have. So getting that complete view of the LinkedIn environment and the profile and their connections and things like that, right where the lead record is in CRM, can really help sales understand their customer before they reach out to them, and just sort of connect in a way, not only through CRM, but maybe reach out to them on LinkedIn, and even get alerts like when they have a job change, congratulate them and just stay in touch. So in addition to reduced data entry, it has recommendations for next best actions within Dynamics 365 based on combined signals from email, CRM, and LinkedIn. Again, that would go into the AI side of things, which is just embedded throughout the CRM application in the form of those cards like I mentioned. And it shortens prospecting times as well by helping personalize engagement and actually reach out at the right time based on real-time data. This one's a little bit more obvious for the CRM core functionality, but sales order processing, this can greatly help if your company has a variation of products or services that need to be configured often for quotes. You can build out these product price lists, discount rates, special pricing, bundles, and all that in CRM and add them directly to quotes and have those quotes automatically calculated. And then from there, you can simply convert that quote into an order. Into an invoice, then into an order, and then actually send that through. I got that wrong again. Quote to order to invoice, and then actually send that through to your ERP system. And Dynamics 365 seamlessly integrates with most ERPs, but particularly Dynamics 365 ERP solutions, so you can have a seamless lead to cash process for your sales cycles. The product catalog itself helps ensure consistent pricing and consistent quotes across the different sales reps. Nobody's doing these things based on manual calculations, but it's actually being calculated in the system and flown through all the way to the accounting side of things. This also contributes to rich customer sales history. If you are not using the product configurator, you can still have your customer sales history based on opportunities, but that's more or less based on information entered by sales. By using the product catalog and using quotes and orders and invoices in CRM, you actually have those records tied back to the opportunity and lead records showing this revenue did in fact reach all the way to the accounting system, and it just gives you much deeper analytics in terms of your goal management and things like that. Okay, so just another quick recap of the Dynamics 365 for Customer Engagement solution. It covers sales, service, marketing, field service, and project service. And you can get those bundled as a customer engagement plan or subscribe to each one individually. So hopefully this gives you an idea of some of the more low-hanging fruit, like I said, that you can use when it comes to utilizing CRM and creating better customer experiences. But I also hope that it spurs some thought and inspiration in your company on ways that you might be able to start using these tools in your organization, or maybe shift your mindset to a more customer-centric model. I wanted to provide some quick per-user pricing for these solutions just so you had a high-level idea. Dynamics 365 for sales professional is only $65 per user per month. It gives you nearly all the sales functionality, but it does not give you the embedded intelligence and some advanced customization capabilities that you do get with Sales Enterprise licensing. And then the full customer engagement plan includes Sales Enterprise as well as all the integration applications all the integrated applications that you see above here. So all 5 applications come in the customer engagement plan for $115 per user per month.